Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Advisory. We are on our last lesson in the series of lessons of testing skills. And since we're talking about testing, I felt it was very important and appropriate to discuss how we might feel when you're expected to take a test, right? So many people experience stress and anxiety before an exam. Totally normal, okay? So even like a little nervousness can actually help you perform your best. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, a little anxiety is good. When it becomes to be too much and unmanageable, that's when we need to talk about ways to manage that, okay? And that's what we call test anxiety. So we're going to get into that today. So what is test anxiety? Okay, so worrying about an upcoming academic exam is a common anxiety trigger, right? And when I say anxiety, I also mean stress. It's the same thing. Okay, stress, anxiety, interchangeable. Okay, so and this says there's many symptoms that come along with test anxiety, just like general anxiety. Okay, such as like trouble sleeping. Maybe your racing heart rate, maybe you feel a little nauseous, maybe you're sweaty, maybe you get dizzy, or like any kind of excessive worry, okay? So it's a learned behavior that can be reduced and changed when we know techniques to manage it. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk prevention and intervention. So how do we keep it from happening to a degree that's unmanageable again? And what do we do when it is happening? So there's the two pieces to this. Okay, so we're going to dig in. So prevention. So like having a plan before the test will help you feel less helpless when the time comes, okay? And it will, in and of itself, will lower your anxiety level. So prevention is the first part of working through your anxiety, whether it's triggered by an upcoming exam or really anything, right? Some of us get anxious during social situations, and there's many different types of anxiety, and these prevention techniques can help with all types of anxiety, okay? So when you think of being prepared, again, we're talking about prevention here. So make a realistic study schedule. So if you're prepared for the exam and you're studying as much as you have time to study, right? Then you will feel more confident going into it. So when you think about starting a schedule, do like several days to a week before the test. So instead of like cramming the night before, because if you're waiting to the last minute as the days go on, you're going to be more and more anxious about that exam. But if you're spending some time throughout the week or a couple weeks working through that or preparing, then you'll be in better shape, okay? And then like practice those good health habits, okay? You hear it a million times, I'm sure, about like good sleeping habits and staying calm. Like these habits will help you to stay calm and think clearly in the moment, okay? So that's like nutritious food. So no junk food. You want to get enough sleep. So that's like directly related to academic performance is our amount of sleep. And students your age should be getting about 9 to 10 hours. Okay, adolescents should be getting 9 to 10 hours consistently every night. And if you're not getting that amount of sleep, let me know, because I have some techniques on how to improve our sleep habits. Okay, you want to exercise regularly to clear your mind, and that helps to decrease our stress levels. Practicing relaxation techniques. Okay, these are things that you should do consistently, like those breathing techniques. We're going to get into one later. Meditation, visualization, yoga, stretching, whatever it is you're into and whatever works for you. These things should be habits, meaning that if they're happening all the time, not just the day before the test or the morning before the test. This is all the time. Okay. Again, that's why we call them habits. So practicing good health habits. There's using that positive self-talk. We've talked about this before, right? It's how to reframe those things when we start being hard on ourselves. So instead of saying, I always mess up on tests or I suck at taking tests, try thinking about it in a different way and say, I had a hard time last time, but now I know how to manage my anxiety so I can do better this time. Okay, so it's just putting a positive spin on how we talk to ourselves. Okay. Remind yourself of past successes. This is that like solution focused mindset, right? If you've done it before, you can do it again, right? So in those moments when you're doubting yourself, if you start to say, hey, this is, there was a time when I felt this way and I succeeded and I actually did pretty well. So it's just reminding yourself that those things are possibilities. Okay, you put the test into perspective. So this exam and any exam.
SSP, you're needed by
does not define you, okay? Your inner qualities, your friendships, your talents, all those skills that you've developed throughout your life, they're more important than this test grade, okay? So just putting things into perspective, it's not the end of the world if you don't do well, okay? Using visualization. So this is like imagining, when they say like in sports, like, oh, if you picture yourself serving that volleyball over the net over and over and over and over again, that actually helps you do better in real life. And that's actually true. So if you imagine yourself feeling calm and relaxed before the exam, and that like a positive outcome, you picture that positive experience, then you set up like new neural pathways, right, in your brain, and the reality will follow, okay? So that is a practice that again, these are habits that you want to do consistently, okay? And then taking a practice test. Sometimes those are available, sometimes they are not. But if, when you think of like these big exams, like the SAT, the PSAT, there are practice exams online that you can take just to get used to it so you feel less overwhelmed when the time comes, okay? So those are prevention techniques. So these techniques are things that you do consistently all the time so that when you do have an upcoming exam, it's much easier to manage that stress and anxiety, okay? Intervention. So this is like, okay, the day of the test, or these are things that you probably have already heard about. Okay, eating a good breakfast. Okay, again, you don't want to like have a bunch of caffeine or coffee because those things actually kind of add to our anxiety. And your brain needs like good energy, good food to process information. So that's like good nutritious protein. Okay, so good healthy food before the exam. Okay, and then you also want to be prepared. And again, this is like we had the preventative piece of being prepared, which is like studying for the test. But the day of, it's like you want to be able to like prepare everything ahead of time. Okay, you don't want to be rushing on the day of the exam because you're going to be anxious in those moments and be like, did I forget this? Did I forget this? So in this sense, be prepared. Prepared means, maybe arriving early, like getting to your seat, not talking to people before the test, because that can sometimes, you can sort of take on their anxiety, or maybe they're talking about being anxious and that makes you more anxious. Okay, so that's something to consider. Using this positive self-talk. So the prevention piece is getting into the habit of talking nicely and kindly to yourself, but the intervention piece is just using what you've practiced. Okay, so in the moment, all right, well, I'm being negative, I'm being hard on myself, I'm not so reframing to the positive is in the moment is going to support you doing better on this exam. Okay, and then move your body. So moving your body can release the tension. Sometimes we when we get anxious, our shoulders start to hurt because we're all tense, right? So this is just like taking a little walk, like stretching your body out, like moving your shoulders, right? Getting up, going to the bathroom if it's possible. So these are things that you can do to intervene when we're already feeling anxious, okay? And that's like bringing us back down to a good baseline, okay? And again, some anxiety during tests is normal. It actually helps us to perform, but when it gets to a point when it's overwhelming and unmanageable and it's taking over, these are the types of things that you can do to help manage that, okay? So, with that said, there are some intervention exercises that you can use in those moments as well. So like if you're in class and you're like shaking, your legs are shaking and you're just not feeling like good, maybe your stomach's upset, you can try tensing and relaxing exercise. We have this little scan code here. I would like you all to scan this code. It'll bring you to a website that I created that's all about wellness and like meditation and mindfulness exercises. And there's plenty of things on there that you could dig through. There is a tensing and relaxing exercise on there. So then there's also try palming, which is like when you're closing your eyes, and this is like visualization, like when you actually put your hands over your eyes. When you start to think of like a very relaxing scene. So that's another example. But what we're going to do today is we're going to try together to try one of these exercises, which is the deep breathing exercise. You guys have probably done this on your own. So we're going to do this together. You're just going to follow along. I know it's going to seem silly and you're going to look around and you're going to worry about what everyone's thinking, but hey, this is a good exercise to practice so that you could use it when you need it, okay? We're going to close your eyes. Everybody close their eyes. Everybody close their eyes. Okay, we're going to breathe in slowly through your nose to the count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale slowly through your mouth to the count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do that a couple more times. Breathe in to 7. Exhale slowly through your mouth to the count of 7. Keep your eyes closed. Okay, everybody, one more time. In through your nose to the count of 7. Exhale through your mouth to the count of 7. Okay, I'm trusting that you all did everything I said. I'm trusting that you all did this, okay? When you're in the moment and you're really, really stressing out and you're like, oh my God, I'm just feeling like all tense. This is something you can do. You can do it discreetly. You don't have to close your eyes in the middle of class and do this, you don't have to do that. It's literally just breathing through your nose, slowly through out your mouth. Do that as many times as it takes until you feel relaxed. Okay, this helps to regulate our heart rate. Okay, this helps with that stomach ache that you're feeling. Okay, so give it a shot. Next time you're feeling a little anxious, please scan this QR code so that you can go to that website and dig through some of those resources. There's plenty of stuff on there. So just see what works for you. And yeah, if you ever need any more support with any of these techniques or intervention techniques, if you ever need any support with any of this, you can stop by and see me and we can talk more about it. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great day.